Terror sponsors behind air crash that killed former Nigerian Chief of Army Staff, Attahiru, claims retired General AliKeffi. This is another bomb. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has been asked to probe the air crash that killed former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant Gen Ibrahim Attahiru, and ensure that those involved in the incident are brought to justice. Former General Officer commanding NGOC 1 Division of the Nigerian Army, Maj. Gen. Danjuma AliKeffi, ATD, who made the call, claimed that the crash was linked to terror sponsors. Sahara reporters reported on May 21, 2021, that Ibrahim Attahiru, the Chief of Army Staff, had died in a plane crash. He died a few months after his appointment. Later, the Defense Headquarters, Abuja, stated that the crash of the Nigerian Air Force jet which killed the Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant Gen. Attahiru Ibrahim, and 10 other officers was due to bad weather. The DHQ in a release added that the then Chief of Defense Staff, Gen. Lucky Irabo, had ordered an investigation into the incident. It occurred near the Kaduna International Airport in bad weather. Attahiru, one of the victims, was on his way to Kaduna to attend a passing out parade for army recruits. The Nigerian Army had listed the officers who died in the crash to include Attahiru, Brig General M.I. Abdulkader, Brig General Olayinka, Brig General Kolia, Major L.A. Hayot, Major Hamza, and Sergeant Umar. The crew members were FLT Lieutenant Theo Asini, FLT Light, A. Olifade, Sergeant Adesina, and ACM Oyedepo. But speaking in an interview with Thursday, AliKeffi decried that the crash was swept under the carpet as the full report of the crash investigation was not made known, while insisting that the crash was linked to terror sponsors. He said, "Let me put it succinctly, late General Attahiru showed strong commitment to end the insurgency ravaging the northern parts of the country." AliKeffi said Attahiru devised the strategy to end terrorism in the north, part of which was infiltration of terror groups and the instigation of a crisis among terror leaders, which culminated in the elimination of Boko Haram leader, Abubakar Shekau, by a rival terror group, Islamic State for West African Province, ISWAP. Part of the strategy was to also cut off the oxygen of terrorism, including funding and logistics, and to take down terror financiers, AliKeffi stated. AliKeffi, who had been billed to receive the late Army Chief as GOC 1 Division in Kaduna, pointed to the sudden change of time for Attahiru's trip to Kaduna, the change of aircraft, change of airport of landing, from the military airstrip to the Kaduna International Airport, his landing in a turbulent, stormy weather, and the ear-shattering explosion that occurred before the crash. He also pointed to the fact that there was no crater or impact on the crash area, noting that the bodies of the passengers were flung out of the aircraft and burnt beyond recognition long before the aircraft came down, a strong indication that there was an explosion. The Operation Service-Wide, OSW, a presidential task force, which I was commanding at the time of late General Attahiru's headship of the Nigerian Army, had as its primary mandate to dismantle the terrorism financing network in order to aid the fight against terrorism and insurgency. Late General Attahiru appointed me as GOC 1 DIV, while still being the commander of OSW, to enable me effectively discharge the task, OSW. It is important to note that OSW was not just an investigative outfit but also carried out covert operations to capture or kill insurgents leaders and key fighters in the field, destroy insurgent camps and facilities, as well support the military and other security agencies' operations. Furthermore, having command of 1 DIV served as cover for me to carry out the task, OSW, without attracting unnecessary attention or making people aware of the existence of the outfit, OSW. AliKeffi continued, about 2,100 hours on Thursday, May 20, 2021, I spoke on phone with the Chief of Staff, COS, to the late COAS regarding their impending trip to Kaduna the following day, May 21, 2021. I had earlier spoken with General Attahiru on the same issue. We ended our conversation on the note that the late COAS and entourage would come by flight at about 1,000 hours the following day. About 0630 HRS the following morning, I called the cause to the late COAS to confirm if their travel plan was as we discussed the night before, as I needed to make arrangements for the mosque that the COAS would attend Jumu'at, Friday, prayers. The COS informed me that there was a change of plan. He said after we finished speaking last night, they received a message that the late COAS was to attend a meeting either at the Honorable Minister of Defense (HMOD) office or at the Presidential Villa at about 1000 hours on Friday, May 21, 2021, and that the late COAS was to attend in person and not send a representative. It is important to note that the late COA's trip to Kaduna was part of his visit to Zaria to attend the passing out parade at the Depot NA slated for Saturday, May 22, 2021. It is worth noting that the movement of service chiefs out of station, Abuja, is with the prior knowledge of the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, the Honorable Minister of Defense, HMOD, and the Presidency. So, why was a meeting scheduled for about the same time that the late COAS was to have departed for, or arrived, Kaduna, and why the insistence that he, COAS, should not be represented? In any case, the cause informed me that in view of the meeting, they would depart the Flag House, official residence of the COAS, at about 1530 hours after attending the meeting and also after the Jumu'at prayers for the airport. They expected to arrive the airport at about 1600 hours, board the aircraft at about 1610 to 1615 hours and depart for Kaduna. At about 1600 hours, I was informed that they had arrived the presidential wing of the airport. I then set off from the Stallion House, official residence of the GOC, with my entourage in a convoy and arrived the Air Force Base at about 1615 hours. For reasons that I cannot understand till today, the flight was delayed for over an hour and did not take off until 17:30 HRS or thereabout. The reason for the delay, as I was informed, was that there was issue with the aircraft that was initially assigned for the mission to convey the COAS and his entourage, and that it had to be changed. AliKeffi also disclosed, meantime, there was meteorological alert that Kaduna airspace was going to experience heavy rainfall accompanied with storm, wind shear, and it was advised. Already, the cloud had formed in Kaduna, which was visible to us at the airport. As a matter of fact, the cloud was so thick, which was indicative of a massive storm. I began to nurse doubts about the flight. At some point, I voiced my doubts to Air Commodore Ayomu and Air Commodore Ilo, who were with me to receive the COAS.